Hello, I'm Graham Ford, property investor, but I also fancy myself as a magician. Most people are vaguely aware that property investors tend to accumulate significant wealth, and the uninitiated put this down to lucky timing or finding remarkable bargains. Well, the truth is much simpler and can be copied by you or anyone. All you need is a grain of rice and a magic lamp. Just about any lamp will do. You can pick one up at your local dollar store. Just rub it gently and a genie, me, will appear and offer you 3 magic tricks. By the way, you've looked up the genie's sleeve and already know all about these tricks. You also know they're not magical at all. They've been around for eons, hardly changing in all recorded time. The genie is going to show you the magical consequences of making the 3 tricks work harmoniously together. Trick 1 is a lever, a very long lever. Don't ask me how the genie keeps it in his lamp. Now, we all know that you can use a lever to lift heavy weights. We also know that the longer the lever, the more it can lift. The lever I'm talking about is, of course, a mortgage, representing the money we borrow to finance real estate. Put your little grain of rice, your very small deposit, on one end and watch it lift a house. This is the time-honored way in which all young people acquire their first home. It's also the time-honored way in which real estate tycoons invest in multi-million-dollar commercial buildings. The most successful real estate investors use as little of their own money as they can get away with. You'll love trick 2. All good magicians make things disappear. I didn't say I'm a good magician, but this is one easy trick that even I've learned to perfect. Watch. Keep watching. Keep watching. No, really, I can do this. Ah, there you are. Trick 2 is a disappearing trick. Investors make their mortgages disappear. They borrow money against the properties they own and never pay it back. Not the principal, not the interest. This important little trick helps properties pay for themselves. It also lets investors draw money from a property while still owning it. How so? For disappearing tricks, magicians need the help of assistants. Property investors have scores of assistants. Another name for them is tenants. If you reward tenants by providing the accommodation they need, they will pay both principal and interest on your mortgages for you. Yet rent alone seldom makes anyone rich. For this, we need one more trick. All the people who don't make money in real estate find my final trick extremely difficult, maybe because it's so counterintuitive. Yet it really is the easiest trick of all. Coupled with tricks 1 and 2, it can make you rich, and much, much sooner than you may have dared to hope. Trick 3 is hold on to real estate. Don't sell. It's the powerful secret of leveraged exponential growth. Some basic math that all successful investors know and use. Property you own helps your wealth grow exponentially. If you sell, the growth stops. It's as simple as that. I began to figure this out 25 years ago. I had more hair then, when I accidentally fell into real estate investment. It was 1986. My wife and I were trying to sell our Oakville home for $110,000, and no one wanted it. We kept it on the market for a whole year. Then, in desperation, we borrowed as much as we could against the house, moved away, and rented it out. 25 years on, we're still stuck with that house. We've rented it to tenants ever since. Its value, like similar houses all over Canada, has grown exponentially, just a few percentage points a year. The house is now worth $500,000 more than we could have hoped to get 25 years ago. In fits and starts, Canadian real estate prices creep up by 6 to 7% a year. Do you know what that means? 500 years ago, Venetian mathematician Luca Pacioli taught Leonardo da Vinci that something that grows exponentially doubles repeatedly, and that you can calculate the doubling time roughly by dividing the rate of increase into 70. Canadian house prices have doubled every 10 years or less for all of the past 70 years. In 1939, you could buy a house in Toronto for less than $2,000. In the 1950s, the average Toronto home passed $10,000 for the first time. It took a mere 30 years, to the late 1980s, to add another zero when prices hit $100,000. By the year 2000, the average price was $200,000. A dozen years later, prices in many parts of Canada have topped $400,000. In a single lifetime, Canadian house prices have doubled 7 times, increasing from $2,000 to nearly $500,000. Remember trick 1? Leverage means you leverage the growth. If you'd bought a house in the year 2000 for $200,000 with a 5% or $10,000 deposit, your house would be worth $400,000 today, a 100% increase. But your leveraged equity would have grown from $10,000 to $210,000, or 2,100%. Know any other investments that can claim that sort of return? Just to reiterate, here are the 3 tricks once again. 1. Buy a good property and leverage the value against a mortgage. 2. Find someone else to pay the mortgage. And 3. Hold on for the ride and watch your money grow. There are plenty of reasons why well-located real estate will continue to be the best investments ever. And I've discussed this more fully in my little book. To make a fortune in real estate, all it takes is a single grain of rice. I hope you'll read it.